all levies in lower basic schools and introduced school grants in September 2012. Additionally, to enhance pupils' access to the nearest lower basic schools, particularly the 7-year-old children in certain communities, the ministry has provided a customized school transport facility to 82 communities in regions 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and intends to increase it to 182 communities by 2016. In a similar endeavor, 10 school buses have been provided through the Gambia Transport Services Company to provide students with easy access to transport at subsidized rates. Higher education, research, science, and technology. Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Higher Education, Science, Research, Science and Technology continues to work with its local and international partners to provide high-quality, accessible, and relevant tertiary and higher education responsive to national and global needs. In this regard, focus continues to be placed on producing home-trained graduates with relevant knowledge and skills for full participation in socio-economic development. This is evidenced by the large number of graduates trained at the University of the Gambia since its establishment in 1999, most of whom are now fully engaged in both the public and private sectors. It is gratifying to note that the School of Medicine and Allied Health Sciences of the UTG has produced close to 100 trained medical doctors, and presently over 300 Gambian trainee doctors are pursuing courses in medicine and allied health sciences. Through international cooperation agreements, numerous Gambian students are pursuing various courses abroad. For 2012-2013, the Scholarship Advisory Board awarded 54 overseas scholarships, mainly in the sciences. This excludes awards administered in other public institutions. Given the need to sponsor more students in and outside the country, government has proposed a 50% increase on the current scholarship allocation. In recognition of its significance, government is decentralizing the provision and delivery of technical and vocational training in the country through expansion and diversification of the TVET programs, aimed at meeting the needs of rural population, particularly women and girls. In this regard, the Ndemban Skills Center is set to be completed this year. The Julangel Skills Training Center in URR is being rehabilitated, and negotiations are ongoing for funding of some of the components of the Kanila Institute of Science and Technology. Construction of the Faraba Banta campus for the University of the Gambia will start in 2014, and as a complement to this, a number of private universities have expressed interest to establish in the Gambia. Among them, the Mahatma Gandhi University of India, the West Africa Science Service Center on Climate Change, and the African Virtual University. This will go a long way in turning the Gambia into a knowledge destination. Health and social welfare. Honorable Speaker, the National Health Policy with the theme Health is Wealth 2012-2020 is focused on acceleration of quality health services and universal coverage. Within this policy framework, 16 major intervention areas that seek to increase access to basic health care have been outlined as priorities for reaching the MDG's base page objectives. Significant improvements have been registered in the productive and child health indicators. For instance, maternal mortality ratio has been reduced to 433 per 100,000 live births based on the Gambia Demographic and Health Survey Preliminary Report 2012, compared to 730 per 100,000 live births. The infant mortality rate has also reduced to 54 per 1,000 live births from 75 per 1,000 live births. also based on the Gambia's Demographic and Health Survey preliminary report of 2012. The Gambia is the second country in Africa to introduce pneumococcal conjugate vaccine into its routine expanded program immunization service, the aim of which is to reduce both morbidity and mortality due to pneumococcal diseases amongst children less than 5 years of age. The country introduced measles second dose into the routine immunization services in August 2012, and presently coverage is above 90%. Similarly, government has recently introduced rota vaccine in August 2013 within the National Immunization Program aimed at further reducing morbidity and mortality. Malaria is on the decline in the Gambia with overall prevalence of 4% as of 2012. However, the recent Gambia Demographic and Health Survey preliminary result 2013 indicate a 50% decline to prevalence rate of 2%. The expansion of the directly observed treatment short-course center, commonly referred to as DOT centers, have resulted to an increase in tuberculosis case detection rates of at least 64%. The treatment success rate has significantly increased from 86% in 2008 to 89% in 2012, exceeding the World Health Organization target of 85%. Social welfare. Honorable Speaker, sir, in the area of child protection, the Department of Social Welfare continues to enhance the protective environment for women and children in difficult circumstances through the setting up of 29 community child protection centers. The department also continues to provide support for orphans and children in difficult circumstances through the provision of educational sponsorship packages and psychosocial support. Furthermore, through its family strengthening program, the department continues to provide relief assistance and support for vulnerable members of society. It also provides temporary shelter, Medicare, rehabilitation services, and livelihood skills training for vulnerable women and children. At least 70 families are being supported under the family strengthening program with monthly stipends. Personnel management. Honorable Speaker, the Personnel Management Office continues its quest to equip civil servants with adequate knowledge and skills by providing adequate training both at home and abroad. As part of its retention strategy, the PMO has introduced the Civil Service Loan Scheme, and it is also determined to fulfill its commitment to create health insurance scheme for civil servants. Let me now discuss developments in cross-cutting sectors of the economy: youth, women empowerment, and population. Honorable Speaker, the government remains cognizant of the pivotal role that youth and women play in sustainable economic development, evidenced by their continued interest in participation in agriculture, fisheries, and sporting activities. Youth-led farming activities has seen the cultivation of 47 farms, totaling 118 hectares, which will not only contribute to our food security target, but will also provide employment for those involved. The Women's Bureau continues to conduct constructive dialogue at policy and grassroots level to increase awareness on the content of the Women's Bill 2012 and the Gender and Empowerment Policy 2010-2020. To this end, series of sensitizations are being conducted targeting women, traditional and religious leaders, the police, child welfare officers, and gender focal points. Foreign affairs. Honorable Speaker, the government of the Gambia will continue to deepen and expand its bilateral and multilateral cooperation, friendship,